League of Communists of Croatia. In Serbo-Croatian, Sava komunista Hrvatske, or SKH, was the Croatian branch of the League of Communists of Yugoslavia, SKJ. Until 1952, it was known as Communist Party of Croatia, Komunistika Partija Hrvatske, KPH. Part 1. History. The party was formally founded in 1937 with Pavel Gregoric as its first general secretary. The reasons for KPJ to have its specifically Croatian branch were partly ideological, partly practical. Croatia, just as Slovenia, which would have its communist party at the same time, was the most industrialized part of the country, with the biggest percentage of working class in the population, and, therefore, more likely to adopt communism than rural Serbia. The other, more practical, reason was in the increased marginalization of communists in Croatian political life due to public more preoccupied with ethnic issues and position of Croatia within Yugoslavia. Cf. Croatia in the First Yugoslavia. Territorial aspirations of fascist Italy towards Croatian parts of Yugoslavia also presented opportunity for the creation of broad communist-dominated alliances modeled on Popular Front. Prior to the formation of the Communist Party of Croatia, there was a Croatian Slavonian Provincial Committee of the Socialist Workers' Party of Yugoslavia, Communists. And there was a developed party structure of the Socialist Party of Croatia and Slavonia. Dalmatia had its own structures up to 1937. KPH, just like KPJ, was illegal and, therefore, remained marginalized, especially after the 1939 Kvetković-Nikšić Agreement and the creation of the Banovina of Croatia within the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. The party's fortunes dramatically changed with the 1941 Axis invasion of Yugoslavia and creation of the independent state of Croatia. Although KPH had many of its leading figures arrested and killed by new regime, it remained strong enough to form what would become the only truly effective resistance movement in Croatia, the Partisans. KPH was based on ideological rather than ethnic grounds and, therefore, had support in both ethnic Croat and ethnic Serb areas. This allowed Josip Broz Tito's partisans to mount ultimately successful guerrilla campaign. KPH platform of post-war reorganization of Yugoslavia on federal grounds also attracted many non-communist Croatians to its cause, especially in the later stages of war. In 1945 Yugoslavia was indeed federalized with Croatia becoming a republic, but its nominal autonomy was of little importance with KPJ being heavily centralized and KPH renamed into SKH in 1952 being its integral part. Things began to change in late 1960s with Tito allowing for reformist policies embodied of new generation of communist leaders. This generation included SKH leaders Savka Dapsevic Kuka and Miko Tripalo, who would start a movement called the Croatian Spring, advocating for more autonomy of Croatia within Yugoslavia. They advocated against centralism which disproportionately benefited the eastern parts of Yugoslavia, especially Serbia and Macedonia. The movement, however, created a lot of ethnic tension and increasing opposition from the more conservative party members. In December 1971, on the Karađevo conference of the SKJ, Tito publicly distanced himself from Croatian Spring, leading to the end of the movement. Using the alleged Croatian nationalism as a pretext, SKH was subsequently purged from most of its liberal and reformist elements. As a result, SKH in the 1970s became one of the most conservative sections of SKJ and remained interested in maintaining ideological and political status quo even when other branches of SKJ began to explore new ideas. Because of that clarification needed, SKH in late 1980s was slow to react when League of Communists of Serbia under Slobodan Milosevic aimed to reassert clarification needed internal Serbian interest. SKH began to openly condemn Milosevic only in 1989 after Serbian nationalist demonstrations in areas that would later become Republic of Serbian Krajina. Another reason for this change of policy was increasingly apparent prospect of SKH being forced to allow some form of multi-party democracy and having its power tested on free elections. SKH quickly adopted a new reformist platform and pushed for the constitutional amendments allowing first free elections in 1990. In January 1990, the Croatian party delegation led by Ivica Račan left the 14th Congress of SKJ few hours after the Slovenian party delegation did so over a row with the Serbian party delegation. In the next few months, SKH tried very hard to present itself as modern and reformist party, rebranding itself into a new party that would ultimately become Social Democratic Party of Croatia. Those and other changes, however, weren't very convincing to the Croatian electorate, and SKH lost power to Croatian Democratic Union of Franjo Tudman. It is estimated that in the 1980s, during its zenith, the SKH had around 300 to 400,000 members. Subsequent surveys showed that most of the membership left the party in 1990, with only minority remaining active in politics. Of those, majority joined the HDZ. Another reason why the party lost support in Croatia was because it was accused of being dominated by the Serb minority. The Serb influence was indeed disproportionate at times. In 1989, 30% of the members of the Croatian League of Communists were Serbs, while their overall percentage in the Republic was less than 13%. Serbs held the presidency of the party twice, one up to 1942 with Rade Konkor, the other from 1986 until 1989 by Stanko Stosevic. Part 1. History. Chapter 1. Ethnic composition of the governments. Government of April 14th, 1945. 5 Croats. 1 Serb. 8 members of unknown or undeclared ethnicity, government of October 22nd, 1949. 13 Croats. 3 Serbs. 1 Yugoslav. 7 members of unknown or undeclared ethnicity, Executive Committee of February 7th, 1953. 18 Croats. 3 Serbs. 3 members of unknown or undeclared ethnicity, Executive Committee Spring 1958. 16 Croats. 2 Serbs. 6 members of unknown or undeclared ethnicity, Executive Committee of 1963. 5 Croats. 6 members of unknown or undeclared ethnicity. Part 2. Party leaders. 1 Andrija Hebrang. 1942, October 1944. B. 1899 D. 1949. 1 Vladimir Bukaric. October 1944 to 1969. B. 1912 D. 1983. 1 Savka Dapsevic Kuka. 1969 to 1971. B. 1923 D. 2009. 1 Milka Planning. The 14th of December 1971, May 1982. B. 1924 D. 2010. 1 Juabilik. May 1982 to the 1st of July 1983. B. 1922 D. 2006. 1 Josip Vrhuvek. The 1st of July 1983 to the 15th of May 1984. B. 1926 D.2006. 1. Mika Pilj the 15th of May 1984, May 1986. B. 1916 D.2007. 1. Stanko Stosevic, May 1986, December 1989. B. 1929. 1. Ivica Raken, the 13th of December 1989 to 1990. B. 1944 D.2007. Part 3. New Communist Party. On November the 29th, 2005, the date specifically chosen as Republic Day, former public holiday in socialist Yugoslavia, a group of Socialist Labour Party of Croatia dissidents in Vukovar tried to found new political party called Communist Party of Croatia, but in the end they failed to register and organize. This new party should not be mistaken with KPH/SKH because, unlike Social Democratic Party of Croatia, it is not its formal successor.